Redmount 2-post lift installation training video, part 2. Stop. This video is for Redmount employees only. Installation should only be undertaken by fully trained personnel. Read the manual in its entirety before watching this video any further. Watch part 1 before watching this video any further. Ensure all personal protective equipment is used while installing. See manual for details. Remove shipping brackets.
Carrying on from video part 1, we now have the plastic removed, so it's time to remove the shipping brackets on either end. There's 8 bolts holding each shipping bracket in place. A 19mm socket is required and a 24mm socket. Before removing any nuts or bolts, place the forks of the forklift in between the 2 posts, or if you don't have a forklift, use a lump of timber as shown here, so that when the bracket is removed, the top post doesn't drop down and damage the post below it. So remove the brackets now. Once the bracket can be removed away from the pulley wheel, get 2 of the smaller nuts and bolts and just secure the pulley in place. This is because the lock wire inside the post, which is not visible here, actually runs up around the pulley wheel, so we don't want the pulley to drop down. It might cause damage to the lock cable.
Height limit switch.
In video part 1, we open up the cardboard box which contains the control box, the manual and the limit switch. So take the limit switch out of the bag now. As you'll see, the rocker is probably pointing down around 6 o'clock if you take the wire as being 12 o'clock. So we want to adjust this slightly. We don't want it pointing straight down. We want the rocker to be somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock. So get an appropriate Allen key, open up the Allen bolt and just move the rocker slightly on the splines. And once it's pointing around 7 or 8 o'clock, tighten up the Allen bolt again. Okay.
Post lock cable.
Yep.
Equalizing cable.
Next we'll get the equalizing cables into position. So it's a good idea at this stage to move the carriage away from the bottom of the lift, slide it up slightly on the locks, just watch the chain doesn't get caught. With the post lying flat, now is a good time to run the equalizing cables. So remove the nuts from the end of the equalizing cables, run the threaded bar around the pulley wheel, make sure that the cable itself sits in the wheel and not between the bracket and the wheel, and then pull the threaded bar end down towards the carriage. Feed the threaded end through the top eye, ensuring not to cross the cable, and feed through to the other side. Wash around first, then lock the 2 nuts off against each other as shown. Once the 2 nuts are locked off against each other and can't come loose, pull the cable back through from the other side. Feed the other end of the cable down the right hand side of the ram, not through the eye, just down the centre, and pull out through the other side. Pull taut. Remove the derailment bracket, place the cable around the pulley and put the bracket back in place. You can now coil up this cable and place it neatly inside the post along with the electrical wire, and move on to post 2 and repeat this process for the second cable on the other post.
Pulley wheel.
Put the flat washer onto the bolt, place through from the top, lock washer, then nut. Tighten it up. So that is, the bolt is pointing downwards. If the nut ever comes loose and falls off, the bolt will continue to do its job. It'll stay in place. Repeat this procedure for the equalizing cables on the other post, and then go to video part 3.
For the full video, go to redmount.ie/videos.